Hello, good morning, and we are live. Things are all setting up, and we are loading. We have a very, very beautiful mom with us, and I'm just waiting for my Facebook to load, Therese, so that all the things are set up and the comments can start coming in. And okay, it decided not to. Yeah, so generally starts echoing with the volume. Good morning, everybody. And good evening, wherever people are going to join in. I know a lot of people are excited. I've been getting messages. Therese is on. Debbie was very excited. We're so excited to have you, Therese, here. Uh, Go ahead and introduce yourself, Therese, because I always say this in my interviews. The person who lives the story tells her story the best. So let's go ahead and talk about Therese and her journey till here.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for inviting me here. Shika, how do you say your name? You were asking me about my name. How do you say it again?
Yeah, Shikha. So
Shika.
Shikha. So easier is like Chicago. Remove the go.
Oh,
That
good. I
this is
like that. That's a good way to remember it. I'll never forget it again.
yeah.
Perfect. My name is Terese Parkin, and I live in Long Beach, California, and have been here my whole life. And I am 63 years old. I've been married for 44 years,
Wow.
and I have a 44-year-old son, a 40-year-old daughter, and a 37-year-old son, and three grandchildren. So I'm not only a mom, but a grandmother. I have two granddaughters and that are 8 and 5, and then I have a grandson that's 2.5.
And you have a
So,
mom who's 96 years old as well.
and I have a mother that is 98 years old
90 years old. Yeah.
who is, yeah, you might have seen at one point she was 96. She is part of the reason why I started Ageless Beauty, because she is an example of living positively as you age, and keeping positive and hope in your life to overcome any kind of obstacles. 2 years ago, she fell and had a brain injury where she had an emergency brain surgery at 96 years old. And I didn't think we would get her out of that. It was a long year, and she made her way through rehab and got back to her place. That prayed a lot of prayers to get her back there and let her be happy, and so she is. And now she has COVID to deal with. So through it all, the most amazing example. And a lot of people say, how do I do what I do? It's because she showed me a path to be positive through life. And I also have an aunt that just passed away at 105. I have another aunt that's 102. So longevity runs in our family. So I have decided I better take care of myself.
Yes.
So
That's amazing, and God bless her. She'll get well soon. A lot of praise for her for recovering from COVID as well. But I also feel I don't know if I'm right, and this is what this whole movement when it started, Therese, was about the fact that when we start passing and the ripple effect starts coming to the children, uh, it does make a lot of difference of how our parents have lived or their parents have lived. And I think it's just not it's in your genes that living such long healthy lives. It's also what's passed. Like when I was listening to your interview, I was seeing that you had a very happy childhood and all the pictures were very happy pictures, and it all started there, right? And I'm sure if you go back to your mom's mom, there must be something happening there as well. That's why it's trickling down till here. And I'm glad that you're taking the bait and going ahead and wanting that not only for your family, for people around who are coming in touch with you now. That's why you're an inspirational coach. So, do you think your mom's mom was also like that? Was she as positive as your mom is? And is it trickling down? Do you think that's the reality?
right. And I think what I love about your project is the sharing of pictures and stories, and you're mixing the two together so well, which is what my son did in my video as two. It's so powerful because the look in your eyes and the look of the capture of those natural captures, which is what you're after, I understand, is just, it tells a lot. and it tells volumes even more than words can often. But coupled together, it's so much more deep and more profound and powerful. My mom's mom, Meme, who she was called, and she was very dear to me. She lived in our city too, but she married and lived in Canada. And when my mother was 8 years old, her husband died in a farm accident. My mom's dad. And so at 8 years old, my mom not only went through a lot of things in her life, but lost her dad at 8. So those pictures are so precious. All those memories that come back from all of those, when you lose someone, to have those photos and those pictures are just there. It's just amazing. So yeah, she was definitely positive, and she had to raise 5 kids on her own with really no income, and they all worked together as a team. It's quite a story. In fact, I'm putting that into some kind of a book that I've already started about the joy of aging. Instead of fearing aging, looking at it with joy. And not to say we all love the aches and pains, we don't, but like just living, if we're here, let's just enjoy while we're here and do good for others. And that's my mission. So
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that's why I found you such a, like, as a mate for this project as well, because of your journey, of self-image, and then doubting it because some outside opinion or concepts or something that enters our environment, or through somebody something comes in and we start believing those things, and then we self-doubting. Would you like to talk about that, Therese? That would be interesting.
I can. Yes. Thank you so much. So I grew up in a family of 8, and so very loving family, and I loved it so much. I knew I wanted to have a family. So this brings back to the idea of being a mom. Being a mom was very important to me, and because I had this large loving family, and I always thought before I went to school that, oh, everyone's going to love me like this. Like I thought in my mind that's how the world was. And then I get to school, and it's a silly little, kids on a playground calling your name, which I don't know anyone that didn't have that issue. We probably all did in some way, and others much worse than mine was. But it really hit me because it was all about that I didn't fit in, and I was really I was wanting that unconditional love and wanted then to fit in. So I kind of kept going a little bit that way. Of course, I had my loving family, but out navigating the world, I was unsure. And by the time I got to 17, I ended up trying to look like the models and the skinny and the whole societal pressures and the idea of beauty that there was. And I ended up being anorexic and not seeing. So this is the interesting part of your project is here I am looking in the mirror and I'm seeing a fat or an overweight, frumpy person, when in reality, I weighed barely 100 pounds. I didn't change. I mean, it was that my image that I thought of that was a suspect and not true. And when I was taken to the doctor by my mom, she just said something's going on with her. So she took me to the doctor, and he said, "You're not going to be able to have kids." And that just wait a minute, no, that's all I ever wanted. So my actions are going to make me not have kids. So that was a real hard line for me, saying, sorry, that's not going to happen. So lucky for me, and I'm blessed to have had that hit me so hard that it turned me around, because a lot of people in that situation that doesn't, but I really go back to that story, because as I got older, I decided, I'm thinking that I'm doing okay, I'm doing better, and I was happy. I ended up, so having my first child when I was 19 years old I say it in the video, was the best day of my life. I mean, there's nothing that describes that when you have any children. Your first child is like just so new to you that it's just like, it's so amazing. So the value that was, that's why I love, thank you for choosing me, because it's so close to my heart. And now having grandkids, and it's number one, it's the best thing ever. And it's so important to tell stories for them and to pass them on.
Oh,
I've always thought stories were important. And this year I got to tell a story at the Contadora event with Maya Camarada, and it was such an amazing experience. And so important, like you say, to share stories, right?
yes, yes, yes. And
Yeah,
it's just also that, the whole judgment thing, which I'm saying, is just like, as I'm moving forward, and I've given a big number of 100. It's like
right.
100 shades of
Hmm.
mothers, and each shade is so different, and each shade comes with such a different story, that
Right.
at least one thing is clear, that each mother is moving forward with her own story, and we have to start leaving them alone without judging them, where they're coming from, why they're doing it, what is right, what is wrong. Because most of us are already judging ourselves. We are so engrossed in the
Right.
whole thing, that whether we're doing things right or not, we are guilty or not. And then when we, as peers, as friends, as relatives, start putting even extra judgment on it, it gets very tough for her to move forward, because she's already being tough on her. Most of us are very tough on her when we become mothers. We want to be the best, and their circumstances or situations. I was talking to a mom yesterday who heads a company that uplifts mothers professionally, mentally, financially. And she was just saying the same thing, that it
Yes.
just gets very tough for us to start judging mothers, and we have to leave that there, because each mother, some mothers really have to solve their childhood before they even start moving forward in uplifting themselves after they become moms. So that's why this project brings your story in, and I just for me, when I was hearing this whole thing, and I was just like, how fragile is our soul sometimes, and especially when we are kids, that it gets struck by something very small, and it takes such a big effect if it's not like solved, or we don't speak up, or and then it takes so many years to solve it. And I mean, it must have taken you about 20, 25, 30 years to just solve that and actually be okay
It
with
did. It did. And I was happy. I was happily married. I'm still married to the same man, and very, very grateful for that, and have these three wonderful children. But I'm always thinking, at the same time, I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's something I'm missing, something more here that I'm here for.
it, right?
That was just a really burning desire in me. And I would always say, like, I don't know, this is great, but I'm capable of more. And so what I've learned in this journey is that experience at that event that I went to, and sharing with another woman about my fears. And then she tells me, I have that same fear. So exactly what you're saying is that we all have that chatter in our head, and that those judgment, but the judgment is us. It's society, but it starts with us. And
Absolutely.
that's really hard to reprogram, um, until now, because I am reprogramming that. I'm stepping into losing the fear to get the freedom to do that, and to not judge myself, and get over that fear, or that stops you from doing brave things. And it is a courageous journey, and I think, but we're all capable of it. And I love what you talked about, the idea of beauty. So my site and my mission is called Ageless Beauty, and the reason it's called that is because I really think it doesn't matter what your age is, and it doesn't matter what your beauty is either. I think beauty is love, and I think we all have it inside of us, and it's unique to each of us. When I look back now, that I look at my life, when I was 7 and being called that, I wasn't ugly, I was beautiful, but I'm seeing that, but nothing's changed. It's just my perception of what I look like.
Right.
And at, and at 59 and at 63, I just embrace the idea that we are unique,
Yes.
each of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I also like it's becoming more and more confirmed. And I was just mentioning to you before we were starting the interview that when I was listening to you, I also realized that you know no matter what you do, some comment will come and hit us. Somewhere
Right.
somebody will make a comment, and I think as mothers, if we can prepare our children very early, that it's just like comments, and you just have to protect yourself for not letting it hit so hard. Is
Right.
another thing that I'm realizing with these interviews, that we can prepare our children to be okay, because as I just mentioning that I was always a very smiling, very happy, in spite of having a very tough childhood. I was always a very positive person. And, one fine day, like my friend who's an artist, and she put a picture of me, and there was an exhibition. And in the exhibition, it was written, oh, these smiles that she smiles is not real because there's a lot of pain. Because it was an assumption that she's had a mother, she has a child, her mother was taken away, she was schizophrenic, there was violence when her mother was schizophrenic, all that stuff. She assumed that I was negative about it. I had everything inside. But actually, the reality was, I was raised by a beautiful family. I had a big joint family, and my father did everything to raise me in a very positive way. And I did turn out to be a positive kid. But that put such a big question mark that maybe she's right. Maybe I'm not positive. And it took me years, that. And it was a struggle for me because my work has always been very positive. If you see my photography, people always told me that what you see in me, like as mothers, they always came up to me and family photographers, and what you see in me, I don't even see it. I don't know where you brought this woman out in this picture. I would have these ecstatic pictures of hugs and kisses and etc. But that comment was always there because I always doubted that, is my work not real, is it fake? And it's taken me years to resolve it, because it's just a comment, and it's not who I am. So when I was hearing your story, it's just not who you were, it's just a comment, and it hits you. And how
Mm-hmm.
can we protect our children, our grandchildren now, to prepare them that these harsh comments are just sometimes a momentary thing, and just like let go of it. So that made me very connected to you, and it made me realize, it took me back to the fact that how I solved the fact. And now I've come all the way back at the age of 40 to say that I am positive. I want the mothers to start shining. I want people to shine around me. I love that. And I love uplifting. And no
Mm-hmm.
matter what anybody can say, I am not negative, right? But to just stand up to your power is very tough, because people keep doubting. How come? Why? What's the catch? Why does she want to do it, right? So it happens to many of us, and I love the fact that you also solved it and you started this ageless thing. Let's talk more about your project. What does this project bring in? What kind of people you're dealing with, Therese, in your project right now?
Well, in my journey of losing the judgment and losing the importance of other people's opinions rather than mine, that's been a lifelong journey. And just deciding that that event struck a chord with me, and I was really became passionate about inspiring other women and men. It doesn't even have to be just women, but probably mostly does speak to women because of the name of it. But just to live a life of joy and not fear and not give up. So as you see, a lot of people as they get older too fear it, so they just like, well, I'm going to try every single thing to stay 18 years old. Well, I last I checked, we're all going to not live till we're 300 years old. So we're gonna age, and I just figure the best thing is to enjoy the time you have. So basically, I have a Facebook group, and I've started. So in this journey that I've, excuse me, in this journey, I stepped into telling my story, and this is the power of stories. I started doing that with Maya, started Ageless Beauty, started with a line of, excuse me.
That's okay. I have water.
Yeah, with a line of natural cosmetics, organic. I've always loved to, I believe in taking care of yourself to the best of your ability. I exercise and all of those things. So daily movement is my mental health, I say. And so those kinds of things. So I started it with that in mind, but it turned into so much more with the story, because I did this video with my son, and it was such a great experience. And that sharing of my story with him, it was such a bonding experience, obviously. And then that reached to he shared it with some colleagues, and then it brought me to a whole nother project that he was involved in, which is totally and utterly aligned with what I'm trying to say, is keep on moving, and stay active and stay positive, and empower other people. It's a mobility device that helps people not give up and not sit in a wheelchair if they can help it. Now, of course, it's not going to save every single person, and it's not for everyone, but it is for the person that needs assistance. And so I got to be part of that project. So it's stepping in to sharing your story that has an impact, that has that ripple effect that my grandparents and my mom gave to me, to pass it on to other people. Now that's what my mission is, to go in, and I'm going to be in this book, and thank you for that opportunity. And Maya has another book that I'm in. My story is in through Contadora. So, and I'm working on my own of the Joy of Aging, and basically actually doing some kind of a coaching program for helping others step into that project, and maybe doing some camera work and mirror work. I see that as kind of correlating, the mirror work. And because in a camera you're smiling outward and kind of sometimes portraying you're happy when you're not. Sometimes that is the case.
Yeah.
But when you're looking straight into a mirror, it's a different story, because you're staring at your eyes. So I think the eyes tell a lot.
Yeah,
So
and the interesting part is that you're talking about the mirror, and I'm talking about self-portrait. Uh,
right.
uh, and the whole thing is that self-portrait is not selfies. It's not that one angle and then one smile. And the interesting part about self-portrait, Therese, is that it's that once you've created the story, and like this specifically this book, it's about your story. It's not about your face here. You know, you can watch that one moment frozen, like even in mirror things are still moving, right? Things happening to you, you're moving. I feel that this is only my feeling, and it's going to happen to all 100 of us who are going to be in the book, that it's frozen and you can stare right into it forever, saying that like this is there, frozen in that one moment, right? And that itself is very scary for very lot of people, because there is no movement, there's no distraction, you've just frozen that one thing, that who you are, and put it right there. And that's why I wonder that when page by page these 100 stories will unfold, because we are working on stories in self-portrait way, where nobody else is going to tell us, just move a little from here, angle, I think you look better there, or you're going to find your own way to figure out who am I and how do I look, and there's going to be just you and the camera. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what all comes in. I'm still working with a lot of mothers, because it's scary. It's very scary because it's frozen, and you keep staring at it and saying, nah, I don't think so, we've reached there, oh no. And the chatter starts all around, about our image, about our self thing. And that is the thing that we want to solve. Even these 100 women will solve that before we throw it out in the world and say, you get inspired. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these 100 women will say when it's
Yeah.
frozen and it's in the book, as a picture about who they are at that moment. And it's a tough job. I keep pushing everybody, 100 days, let's do it, let's do it. But I know it's a very tough thing to freeze it, not talk about it. It's not flowy. It's very, this is it. Like you can look at it and feel things. So,
Well, it's sort of a declaration.
yes,
It's a declaration.
nice
And
way to create it. Yeah, that this is who I am, and like so I keep getting questions with moms. Can I do this? Can I? I'm like, I just keep pushing them. There's something better there. You can get there. So I always give an example, two examples that have come to me. One picture of this mom. I want it to be a surprise. That's why I've not even released it in the group. It's a goofy picture of her. Like she's looking so silly, but she did that because she says that I want to break away from this beautiful this thing, and she loves to make her daughters laugh and smile. Okay, so
Okay.
I was like, that's the picture for you. So that's a
Yeah.
picture because in the index anyway, there's going to be these small pictures, proper portraits of all of you there. So we don't have to. We don't have to. She's made that statement, and it's like she's looking really. I love that portrait. And there's another portrait of this mom who keeps walking in these remote places of India. She's from Italy, and everybody thinks India is not safe, but she's been doing that for 6 years. Even I would not do the things she's doing all by herself. And she's just that small amongst mountains, that small, and that's her picture because she and the vastness of the place she's always walking in is is what it is. So my kids are here because they are unwell, both of them. So
Okay, look at him, so cute. Oh
yeah,
my
the
God.
son is both of them are unwell, so they both are trying to get my attention right now. Papa is hiding. See, Papa is there. Papa is there. Go, go, go. Papa's got something nice. See what he got? Something nice. Papa is hiding.
Adorable.
Papa's hiding. Papa's hiding. Yeah.
Now
So
he's two.
sorry, he's just turned two. And so I was just saying that I keep saying this about this book, that this book is not about how are we looking and how are we smiling and what all is there in our this thing, but what it is about is our story that's going to be frozen in a book forever. And I'm looking forward to your story as well because you've already solved so much, you're writing so much, and then in converting it into a self portrait would be another ride altogether. And we have Debbie here. um, she's I'm just today I'm just wait. Okay, my kids are all around, so yeah, they'll have to go. Just sleepless nights for me because both my kids are not well, so I'm a little distracted with that. So I didn't see Debbie. Debbie, thank you for being here, and let's see what Debbie has to say. Vilma is here, Debbie's here, Melanie is here, and Debbie is saying, yes, it's a declaration, Therese. So she likes that word as well. And the good thing about your project, Therese, and we have somebody like Lucy here who's 75 years old. I've just
Mhm.
met her.
Yeah, I
And
know Lucy.
yeah, you know Lucy, of course. She only recommended you. So Lucy has come in as well, and we had a discussion about she being a bonus mom, not a stepmom. We had a long discussion in the chat that I don't like the word stepmom. She doesn't like the word stepmom, but we ended up calling her a bonus mom here. And she's such an inspiration as well. And she messaged and she's like, you know what, I want to take my picture in the tennis court. And I'm like, absolutely. I mean, look at your age, if you're going to be
Right?
playing tennis, it's such an inspiration. And I'm so blessed that these kind of pictures and stories are coming in the book because imagine your picture shining, Debbie's shining there. I mean, Debbie's story is very, very interesting as well. I just love the way Debbie is all around in the farm and with grandchildren and still shows up fully for everybody when she's online. So Therese, what's your dream? What's your dream? If I ask you, Therese, what's your dream? What's Therese's dream?
My dream is to inspire and and help others remember that their own unique beauty is they were born with, and to quiet the chatter and lose the judgment that they have in their brains, and to somehow change their idea of beauty. We all do not look alike. Anyone from the most beautiful person you know to the person that thinks they're not the most beautiful, they all have feelings of inadequacy and comparison. And it doesn't matter what you look like, that true beauty. Mother Teresa was the most beautiful person around. There's beauty in everybody. So basically, that there's no age to beauty. Please don't give up on yourself. You have life to live. if I started to give up at 63 and my mom, if I'm going to live to 100, I have a lot of years left. I might as well
Yes.
be giving joy to others. And I really feel like stepping out, sharing with others has taught me so much personally as I'm helping other people. So my dream is to impact a gazillion or a billion, as Maya says too. So I know that's kind of a focus now. So, you know, why not dream big if we're going to dream, right?
Yes, yes, and that's amazing because I keep saying, and when I was interviewing Maya, she said it's very interesting. Shikha, she kept the interview, and she's like, I keep telling everybody, I want these 100 dreams to come true because the book is called 100 Self Portrait, 100 Dreams, right?
Right.
And she's like, I want people who I'm impacting their dream come true, and you want all our dreams to come true. Imagine how many dreams will come true if your dream only comes true of these 100 people, because you're saying a gazillion, Debbie's saying a million, somebody's saying trillions, and I'm like, let's just focus on these 100 dreams coming true, because we would have made a lot of impact through these 100 moms and their dreams coming true. And everybody, like, there's all the mix, Therese, here. There's somebody who wants to work for nature, there's somebody who's working with young kids, you're somebody like you working with ageless beauty, with there's no limit, everything is limitless. And Maya is working, Debbie's working, Melanie's there, Wilma's there. Everybody is working in impact. And I don't know how these women are coming together, because I have not even found one woman who's not making an impact in any way. And then we are sitting very isolated thinking that nobody's doing anything, that the world is going down, that things are just not moving in the right direction, especially since COVID. We've started to believe that, but the fact is, it's not true. There are people working to make this world a better place. This world is a better place. It is going to be a better place. We have to start believing that and stop that chatter which keeps putting us down, stops us from dreaming, stops us from moving forward. And if people like you are going to inspire the world to stop that chatter, a lot of good work would be done, because they will step up and they will step into their dreams, right? And it's
Right.
amazing.
And to give hope to someone else is living without hope is a desolate, sad experience. And I just think that to look at it's all in the way you look at things. And so if you can change your thinking of what chatter you're telling yourself, and that is not, it takes a little time to do that, and some courageous steps to do that, but you can do that. And so I'm going to be doing some more work with my people and doing the things that'll help, bring that conscious and the idea of the typical or quote unquote most beautiful. I mean, there's just so many different kinds. Look at the world. If we all looked alike, it would be pretty sad to me.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it would be. It would be. And it's beautiful what you're doing, Therese. And I would love to do your mirror exercise as well, because I like to keep challenging that self-image thing that keeps coming. And I keep telling this to mothers that in spite of me coming a long way, speaking to 54 mother, it's not easy to stop it. It's not easy to put it down, right? Even right now, like I would be thinking, oh my God, maybe I've not slept, so I'm looking a little tired. Should I go? Yes, you go ahead, keep doing, keep walking. Like it doesn't matter what happens. And that's the beauty of your project. And what I love about your project is you said that even a 7-year-old should feel the same thing that a 50-year-old or a 70-year-old should feel. That it's there's the beauty is ageless. Like there is no age to it. You need to
Yeah.
start feeling beautiful, and your program can actually go in any dimension. All it is doing is it's actually touching at the soul level. It's that soul level that it touches to elevate you, to make you rise. And that's the beautiful part about you, Therese, that you're still not only not seeing any kind of beauty, but you're not even seeing age as a factor to feel
Not a
good.
barrier,
Yeah, there's no barrier.
right?
It's
I mean, there's things people have attained. It's limitless. Like people have attained way more than I. So that's the comparison game. Like as you age, well, I'm pretty fit, but there's people climbing really mountains that I'm not doing. And so good for them, and I'm doing what's good for me. And just that knowledge that do what's you. I do me and you do you kind of thing. So that's kind of another focus of mine.
Yeah, and also that I think finding the best of you at this point in time is also very important, because a lot of us also sit down and think, this is me. That's okay. Just like, that's me. Accept it. Because I hear that chatter as well a lot of times. And
True.
I'm talking to people and I'm like, this is who I am. Accept me just I am. Doesn't matter. But I think that is also resistance to want to change. That kind of resistance that comes in front and says, uh, and yesterday again, this mom says a very interesting thing. She said, and you're talking about a mirror. It's very interesting that it came together to me right now. She was saying that sometimes we should not find people coming to us as opinions against us. It could be just somebody's just showing us a mirror and trying to show us that this is what it is and you need to change it because it's not working for you, it's not serving you. And we don't have to take it personally all the time if people are saying something to us that it is against us, or it is there's something wrong with us. Sometimes
Right.
people are just showing a mirror, and you just said about mirror. Yes, it's just showing the mirror and seeing, just see who you are, and that's beautiful. And it came to my mind, and yes, it doesn't matter. Sometimes we need people like you. And I was talking yesterday as well, and I was telling her everything. Sometimes women just can't get out, or mothers cannot get out of their zone because they've not met anybody who cares enough to say, "Here's a mirror." Just look
Right.
at the mirror, right? You have to care enough sometimes to sometimes step up and say, not worry about the fact what would they think. Sometimes that's what they need. Somebody needs to show them the mirror. So I'm loving, while talking right now, the whole concept of mirror even more. So hats off to you, Therese, for that.
Thank you. And it's very accented by my involvement in the zine project. That is just an extension of what it wasn't created for it. It was just, it just kind of all synced together, and just impacting other people to show hope and to versus, giving up. It's all about like giving someone hope. So really, really, really blessed. And people like you doing this project, and showing a story, sharing stories with pictures, our ancestors, even pre my grandmother, all of those stories, they do trickle to us. We just don't always know them. So that's why that legacy of that photo that you say is then there it is. It's a declaration, but it's also your legacy.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And I mean, for me, I don't know what I'm creating, Therese.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's because I'm soaking in so much energy. I'm talking to so many mothers. Some stories really touch me. It stays with me the whole night, and I'm bringing up two young kids. And I always feel that sometimes I'm actually pinching myself that where have I put myself, like uh, it's, and I was telling this to Debbie also, that it's beautiful and it's painful and it's beautiful. I don't have words to explain that it's all coming
Right.
together for me. There will be a very big breakthrough for me as well by the time the 100 end and the book is created. There will be a different level of breakthrough because I would have soaked in so many stories, not only these 100, but I'm talking to many, many mothers every single day before a mother is stepping in. And the fact that you said that it's a declaration, I mean, 100 shades of moms declaring these are our shades, and that's it. We are
Yeah.
living stories, and they're actually living across the world, but there's still a connection. They still feel the same thing. It's going to be something magical. I know it's going to take some more time and some more effort, but we're going to
I'm
be
so
there. So
excited.
Debbie's also supporting us in the chat all this while. So thank you, Therese. I mean, I really want to keep going on and on talking to you because
Yes.
it's just going deeper. Like the more I'm talking to you, it's taking a step deeper, and I'm loving that because it's making me think a lot. But just because I have cold and my kids have cold and we have fever
Right.
and we're dealing with that, we will wrap it up today. But
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to
Very
hearing your
good.
stories.
I look forward.
Yeah, I'm really I want to. I don't know why I just saw your picture with the mirror. Maybe I don't know. We'll see what comes out with yourself.
Yeah, I'm working on that for my concept, and with that, maybe that's my focus. I thought of, because what I love to do is cycle, bike. But of course, that's an activity that's great and it is me. But I think my mission and my story is about changing the idea of beauty, even for that 17-year-old, even not even just for older people, but for that girl who so doubts herself at 17. So that mirror works pretty special. So I'll have to play with that. And I don't know quite if you just want one picture, or I don't know, but we'll work on it. So
We'll work on it. We'll figure it out. And this is not ending here. I'm telling all moms that trust me, my gut is saying that this is going bigger than it is. It's just not the only portrait. Many more things are going to come out of this book. Let's just reach there, finish this book, get the stories together. Um, I think a very big thing is going to open up after this. Something is about to open. I can't catch it. I can't say what it is, but I just know it in my gut that something really big is going to happen. And I was telling this to Maya as well when I was interviewing her that I just don't know how to tell you this, but it is going to be something big. So maybe that's the beginning of your portrait, and a series of exhibitions are coming of each individual. I don't know. Films are going to come out, stories are going to come out. These 100 moms are going to rise together to declare, as you said, the declaration that we are the living stories right now, and these are real stories, and we're going to make the change through these stories. So let's see what happens, where we head in the process right now. Let's see.
beautiful project. I'm so grateful and happy to meet you and have these conversations with you and be part of it. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it as well. It's an honor having you here, and I shall catch up with you. Bye bye, Debbie. I know it's getting night for you as well. And Brazilian divine guidance, ripple effect of these 100 women will easily touch Brazilian. I like the word Brazilian that's coming out of Maya's events. So thank you so much. We'll go offline and we will just say bye bye to everyone.